Ethan lived in a quiet, suburban neighborhood where every day felt the same, peaceful and predictable. His mornings always began with setting his trash can by the curb before heading to work. But lately, something had changed. Almost every morning, he'd return home to find his trash can tipped over, garbage scattered across his lawn. At first, he assumed it was the wind or maybe stray animals. But when he checked his neighbors' houses, their bins stood upright, untouched. One afternoon, while raking leaves, Ethan noticed Karen, the head of the HOA, strutting down the sidewalk with her ever-present clipboard. She frowned at his trash bin, muttering something under her breath. When she thought no one was watching, she nudged the can. From then on, Ethan watched more closely. Karen had made herself the neighborhood's self-proclaimed enforcer of rules, criticizing paint colors, lawn lengths, even children playing too loudly. Now she had decided that his trash can was unsightly. Every time Ethan set the bin neatly at the curb, Karen would wander by and push it over, pretending it had been an accident. One morning, Ethan caught her in the act. "Why are you doing this?" he asked, frustration breaking through his usually calm voice. Karen smirked. "It's a violation. The HOA doesn't approve of bins left out too long. Maybe if you learned to follow the rules, your trash wouldn't keep ending up all over your yard." Her words cut deep. Ethan wasn't breaking any rules. Pickup wasn't. Until afternoon, and his bin was always out on time. This was pure harassment. Weeks passed, and Ethan's patience thinned. Every time he picked up soggy garbage from his yard, he felt humiliation burning inside. He tried speaking with the HOA board, but Karen's influence was strong. "We haven't seen any violations," they replied dismissively. It was clear no one would stand up to Karen. She thrived on control, preying on those who wouldn't fight back. But Ethan wasn't ready to surrender his peace of mind. One evening, after picking up coffee-stained newspapers from the street yet again, he decided enough was enough. If Karen wanted to keep knocking over his trash can, he'd give her a surprise she'd never forget. That night, he sat at his desk, sketching out an idea, a simple but clever plan. This wouldn't be about anger or revenge. It would be about exposure. He wanted Karen's behavior caught in a way she couldn't deny. The next weekend, Ethan drove to the hardware store and picked up supplies. He purchased a motion-activated camera disguised inside a birdhouse and a weighted base for his trash bin, making it nearly impossible to topple. But he added something extra, a harmless but startling trick. Inside the lid of the bin, he installed a spring-loaded air horn, carefully positioned so it would blast if someone yanked the lid too aggressively. It wasn't dangerous, it wouldn't hurt anyone, but it would create a loud, shocking noise, sure to draw attention. By Sunday evening, the trap was set. Ethan placed his trash bin out at the curb, the hidden camera aimed perfectly, the air horn primed. Then he waited. The following morning, Karen strutted down the sidewalk as usual, scanning for violations. Her eyes locked on Ethan's bin. She pursed her lips, glancing around as if to ensure no one was watching. Confident, she reached out and shoved the bin with all her might. But this time, the can didn't budge. It stayed firmly upright on its weighted base. Karen frowned, stepped closer, and tugged on the lid. Blart! The air horn screamed louder than she could have imagined. Karen shrieked, stumbling backward, her clipboard flying into the street. Windows opened as neighbors poked their heads out, startled by the noise. "What happened?" one neighbor shouted. Karen's face turned beet red. She stammered excuses, waving her arms, but the hidden camera captured everything: the shove, the attempt to open the bin, and her panicked reaction. Ethan retrieved the footage that afternoon. Watching Karen's shocked expression made him laugh for the first time in weeks, but he didn't keep it to himself. Instead, he compiled the video and presented it to the HOA board at their next meeting. "I've been accused of violating rules. Here's what's actually been happening. Ethan said firmly as he pressed play. The room filled with gasps and muffled chuckles as Karen's actions played out on screen. The air horn blast made several board members burst out laughing. Karen, sitting stiffly in her chair, grew pale. "This is harassment," one board member muttered. Another said, "You've embarrassed the HOA with this behavior, Karen." For once Karen had no words. Her authority, once unquestioned, now hung in tatters. After the meeting, everything shifted. Karen was removed from her HOA position and restricted from enforcing rules on her own. Neighbors who once avoided Ethan began smiling, waving, even thanking him for standing up to her. "We've all been tired of her nonsense," one said quietly. As for Karen, she kept a low profile, her confidence shattered. No longer did she march through the neighborhood with her clipboard of complaints. Ethan, meanwhile, felt a calm satisfaction. His trash can remained upright, his yard free of scattered garbage. The simple act of defending himself had restored balance not only for him, but for the entire community. That evening, as he set his bin out once again, he couldn't help but smile. Karen had wanted control, but all she'd earned was humiliation. And Ethan? He finally had peace, along with a story no one in the neighborhood would soon forget.